Hello! Alright, so this is another game tutorial which took about 2 weeks. Sorry about that, I kind of just kept forgetting. So this is not live because I had to set up my GoPro so we can both be in it. This is my lovely assistant Priscilla. She's not the camera person this week. She's participating. So this game you can play with really 2 to like, I don't know, a lot of people because you could use more than one deck.
I don't know.
So this week's deck comes to you all the way from Minnesota, sponsored with nice loons, their state bird, I think. So we're going to teach you a game that kind of has a bad word in the title, so we call it Poop Head, or you could call it 3's. Whatever you want. You can call it whatever you want. This is a game. So to deal out, each person needs 3 cards face down that they cannot look at until later. We'll get to that. So 3 down. And then on top of those 3 cards, you do 1 face up on each one. So 1 face up on each one. And then they get 3 cards in their hand, which you can now look at. And the deck goes here. So the game is played by putting a card in the middle. And the basic rule is, Priscilla would start because it's her turn, because I don't. And I just have to be able to play anything equal to or higher than her card. That's the big thing you want to remember. So anything that's played in the middle, you have to be able to play equal to it. So if it's 8 is played, you can play an 8 or higher than an 8. So that's how you play back and forth. However, there are 3 fancy cards that are good to know.
And aces are the highest, not the lowest.
Yes, that's how I'm going to go. Thank you. So aces are high, not low. So the 3 cards you need to know are 10s. At any time, you can play a 10 and burn the pile, which will make more sense in a minute. So it actually gets rid of all the cards in the middle and they're out of the game forever, and then you get to play again. A 2, you can play at any time, and it brings it back down to 0 or 2, so then the person can play a 3 or whatever they want after that. And then a 7, you have to play in order like normal, but the next card that's played after it has to be lower than it, and then it keeps going back up. So we'll kind of show you how this plays out. So Priscilla would play whatever she wants. She can start wherever she wants in the numerical order. She played a 6. As soon as you play, you draw again to get back up to 3 cards in your hand. So I have to be able to play a 6 or anything higher. So I have a jack, so I can play that and then draw to get back to 3 cards in my hand. So now she has to play a card equal to a jack or higher.
And I don't.
And she cannot, and when you cannot play, you have to pick up every card in the middle, which sometimes is a lot of cards, and that's very sad for her. So I'm going to play a 3.
So like when someone picks up the pile, the person that didn't pick up the pile
goes, yep. So now she has more than 3 cards in her hand, so she does not have to draw after she played until she's back down below 3. So she played a 6, so I have a pair of aces, and when you have multiples in your hand, you can play them together, which is awesome. So I'm going to play both of my aces, and then draw 2 cards to get back to 3 in my hand. Whoops, that's a joker we don't play with. So she still can't play, so she picked those up, so I'm going to play an 8, and draw.
2 8s.
2 8s. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I have a queen. So remember, you're always thinking equal to or higher. The 2 aces. So, I didn't draw last time. So I don't have a card higher than aces, because aces are the only thing I could be able to play right now. But I do have a 2, which I can play at any time, even not in order. I can play whenever I want. So I'm going to play that, and it brings it back down to 0. She played a 3, so I'm going to play a 4. She played a 6, so now I can play my 7, because it's higher than a 6. But now her next card, just 1 card, has to play lower than a 7. Or it could be multiple cards. So she played a 7, which is equal to, which is allowed. Whoops, I didn't draw last time, sorry. And I have a 4, which is lower than a 7. So I'm going to play my 4, and now it goes back up. She played a 6. I keep forgetting to draw. I played a queen. Another queen. So now I don't have a card higher than a queen, but luckily for this tutorial, this has worked out well, I have a 10. So the 10 burns the whole pile. So now all of these cards are out of the game, which is actually really nice. And I say burn and turn, so you burn it and then you get another turn. So I have 2 5s, which I can play together, and then draw 3. Another joker.
2 jacks.
2 jacks. I have an ace.
2.
Nice. 6. And we'll get to these cards down here in a minute. You can't play off these cards until you get rid of your hand. And the hands you don't get rid of until the deck's gone. So we gotta get rid of the deck. Okay, queen. So she, with a 10, burned the pile. That's actually really nice because sometimes you have to pick up really big piles and we haven't really had to. Jack, king. She picks it up. I'll play a 5. So our deck's almost gone, so you'll see how it continues here in a second.
Oh, 7s.
So she plays her 2 7s, so the next card has to be lower, so I'm going to play a 6, and now it goes back up as normal. With the jack, I'll play an ace. So our deck is gone. So now we try to get rid of our hands so we can play down here, which we'll explain in a second. So I'll play a king. I actually had really lucky hands this whole time. Another king. So I'm playing a 2. I have 2 2s actually. So I'll play those together, which brings it back down to 0. So she played 7s, which was smart. I'll tell you in a second. So my hand is gone and the deck is gone, so I can now play off my top 3 cards. So I have 2 9s and a king, if you can't see them. And she played a 7, so I have to play lower than the 7, which I cannot. So now I have to pick these up, which means, again, I have to get rid of my hand before I can play these 3 cards. So now I can no longer play those. I have to play out of my hand. 2 3s, I'll play 2 7s. A 4, 2 kings. Ace, I'll play my 2 2s again. So she played her jack. So now my king can play, so I play that. She has to pick it up. So I cannot play this face down card until all your face up cards are gone. So to run through that again, you can't play your face up 3 until your hand is gone. And then you cannot play your face down 3 until the face up 3 are gone. So it's a little like levels, a little tricky. So I have 2 9s though, so I can pick those up and play them together. So she played 3 kings. So, one thing that hasn't happened, if at any time all 4 of one number are played, that also burns the pile like a 10, and the whole pile is gone out of the game. So if I would have had a king to play, that'd be 4 of them, and that burns the pile. It just doesn't happen a lot. So, I have my face down cards left. You cannot look at these before you play them, so you just pick them and hope they work. So, I played a 4, which does not work on top of kings. So now I have to pick up the middle, which means, again, I cannot play my face down cards until my hand is gone. So you only play off the table when your hand is empty. 2 3s, a 4, 2 9s. I'm going to be in trouble again, I think. 2 7s, oh yeah. I cannot play. She played a jack. I'll play my 3 kings, which is unfortunate because I knew she had an ace, which I cannot play. Sevens. Interesting. So normally I could look and see like what she can't play above and play it to make her pick up the middle, but she has a 10 unfortunately, which means she can play that on anything. So I'll just get rid of my 2 9s here. Oh, she also had a jack, which I forgot about. So she plays her 10, burns the whole pile, gets to play again with her 3. So now she can't look at these before she plays them. She just picks it and plays it. 9, worked out. So I'll play my ace, luckily. 9, which does not work. So now, again, she can't play this card until she gets rid of her hand. So I'll play my 2 4s. She played 9s, I played a 5. Fours. Ace. So she's going to win. Boom. That is how you play 3s, we'll call it. So hopefully that made sense. If you have any questions, put them in the comments, and I will respond. See ya!